right into that.
The Halle band. I've been a part of the Halle band, bruh. We here. I trolled Ty. You know why? Because like you said, he gonna find a way to troll you. So I gotta do it in the chats. But I'm the Halle band. We here. Tyrese, what did I say when I was on the show last time? He's clutch. He's efficient. He's one of the best point. I didn't say best pure point guard. I say he's one of the best point guards in the league. And he keeps showing it time and time again. Now, Aaron Nesmith deserves a lot of credit for that comeback as well, because he just went out. Can I say this? He went nuclear. I don't think that's a bad word on YouTube, but he went nuclear. The three that he hit to make it a 2-point game, but I think he was like almost vertical or parallel, with the ground, was crazy to make it 121, 123. Nesmith was on fire, but the balls to, I don't like this look. Run back to the 3-point line and shoot that shot and make that shot. That's his superstar moment. That's his I'm here moment. And let's not forget, they made the ECF last year. Now Tyrese Haliburton got hurt, and Andrew Nembhard had to step up in that. But with or without Tyrese Haliburton, I think they win a couple games against Boston. Again, he is efficient. He scores when he needs you to. Look no further than the Cleveland series. When they were down a bunch, I believe it was game 2. Who else but Tyrese Haliburton started that run, and he hit a 3 from the logo within that run. So he does it all. He does it all, man. I think he's a superstar. I think he is. And by the way, talking about that trade, I used to always try to be like, well, it was a fair trade. I can't do it no more, bro. Pacers clearly won.
That's only because I think the Kings gave up Fox in the end and kind of like blew their whole team up. So,
well, Joe tried to make it seem because they got Sabonis out of that, and then they leveraged pieces from that to get Herter and all that. I'm like, it was a fair trade, you know. Pacers got that point guard of the future. Y'all got Sabonis to pair with Fox. It's over. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals twice, and we haven't gotten the first round. We only made playoff.
Go ahead, Joe. Is Haliburton a superstar?
You know what's weird? You know how we're stuck with the Jimmy Butler superstar thing, right?
I was waiting to hear. This is why I wanted to hear it from you.
Oh my God. Go ahead.
I can't call him a superstar yet. Because, yes, in the regular season, he made All NBA one time. He never been an MVP candidate. I don't think he led a league in anything ever. But he did take his team to the Eastern Conference Finals 2 years in a row. Sound like somebody else I know who we call a superstar, but kind of got the same accolades. Let me think about it. Oh, Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards has one All-NBA, not first team like Tyrese Haliburton. Anthony Edwards led his team to the West Conference Finals twice, like Tyrese Haliburton. Anthony Edwards has never been a true MVP candidate. Never. He never led anything in the league outside of 3-point makes. He didn't do it this year. So, like, if Anthony Edwards is a superstar, how come Tyrese Haliburton isn't? And I think the reason why is because I don't know. Because Anthony Edwards got playoff games where his stats look crazy, but Haliburton got playoff moments that are called superstar worthy. So when we're going to but I can't. I don't know. I can't call him a superstar yet.
You can say it, bro. A lot of
people
think
I don't know why. Like I said, I don't know why we're giving the pass to Anthony Edwards. And I think it's because of how he plays. It's because of his smile. He talk trash. He's very confident. Oh, he's very confident. You know, all them good things. So I'm going to say no right now because I don't want to jump him up there yet. I think I have to see a little bit more from him because one thing about Anthony Edwards, he is a leading scorer for his team, but he's a point guard though. Haliburton's a point guard. Is he supposed to lead the league? And you know, he don't turn like game 1, he had 11 assists and 1 turnover while being clutch. But right now, I'm going to say no.
It's because he's corny, Joe. A lot of people
Yo, I was trying to save you from saying that.
That's no, like I don't think he's corny, but a lot of people think he's corny, especially because he instantly, as soon as he made it, he did the choke. Like it seemed forced. A lot of people are calling him corny like that, just like a lot of people call JT corny.
I
With the
like that he
Kobe
did
stuff.
that.
I'm not mad at it either. I do feel like it was kind of forced though a little bit, but I'm not mad at it either.
I kind of love that he did that because Reggie was there. Like, and they were up like almost what were like 10?
No,
They were the
they
Knicks
were
were
like 14 or something like that.
the Knicks was up, and it was like, bro, you could wrap this game up. And next thing you know, they found a way to win it. So that is a choke. That's a choke job, some people would say. But do I think he's a superstar? Joe, everything you said about Ant Edwards is I think Ant Edwards kind of forced himself into the limelight. Not forced himself, but he kind of like once he got the limelight, he was there. You got to think of all the players that he kind of reminds you of. And I said it, it's the AI effect. We've seen AI growing up, and everybody's like, "Look, the league's kind of been missing this." He isn't scared to talk about how he want to play against LeBron, or how he wants to be the best, or how he wants to compete against the best. And everyone's kind of like, "Man, we like that, bro. We miss that energy." And he in Minnesota, so some people probably like, "Oh, this our Garnett," so they remembering Garnett. It was kind of like, boom, there you go. And when the camera's on, he shines. So that's another reason why some people just threw him up there into the superstar status. But you're right as far as like earning it. You're earning it. But I also heard something on, I think it was First Take, where they were talking about how, I don't think it was First Take. I forgot where I heard it from. Too many sources. But they basically were saying most superstars that we talk about in today's league were kind of already predestined to be a superstar. Like MJ, when he got to the league, they were like, all right, he's not supposed to be a number 2, number 1 pick in the league, but they picked him over a big man. And why is he flying through the sky like this? Kobe. He was like, okay, we see Kobe's here. He's fresh out of high school. What are he gonna do? LeBron, we already know what the LeBron run was, the chosen one. Like we already knew what that was. I would say one player that kind of like just leaped the line was Steph. It was just like, okay, this kid can shoot, but you gotta think Steph kept going through all the injuries, and then next thing you know, once he got one underarm and the ankles was better, plateau, he took off. Kevin Durant, it was like, okay, is he gonna be better than LeBron? Is he gonna be it? What is he gonna be? It's a 7-footer that's shooting threes and making the game look so easy. It's just like it was just predestined for them to be superstars. Haliburton, on the other end, you play for the Pacers. Some people want to say it's the market. And like he don't have enough games for us to be like, is he a superstar? I know you looking like that, Carl, but some people gonna say that, and then they're gonna throw out what you said. He's a little corny, but I don't think he's corny. I think he's just out here winning games. Like you can't be mad at the guy for winning games. So my real question is, if Tyrese gets this team to the finals, we already on refuse to lose. I'm bringing it back to our universe. As far as the Jimmy Butler question that we already asked, if some people can say Jimmy Butler a superstar, you can't be the same person to come on here and say Haliburton that. And that's why I like what you did there, Joe. Where you just like, I don't know yet, because you kind of did the same thing on the Jimmy Butler topic. So if you ask me, is he a superstar? I'm gonna say not yet. The song definitely helped. That the song, with his name being in the song, and now kids kind of being like, oh, what the Haliburton? So now it's in their head, and now he's balling and making big shots. You put 2 and 2 together. If you on social media, and that's what's driving the world right now, you got Haliburton. What the Haliburton? I mean, TikTok, the Knicks, the Pacers winning. It's just all kind of conjuring up for him to be one of those big names. But if he makes it to the finals, as far as refuse to lose universe, you have to have some conversations.
Now, go ahead, Carl.
Because I'm the only one that said yes, so I want to say this. I do agree that a lot of people superstardom was predestined. I do agree with that. But I think it's because, again, just like I said with Jimmy Butler, his game ain't quote unquote sexy. He don't dunk on people. He plays below the rim. His jumper is ugly. His shot is ugly. Like, we can all agree there, right? His shot is unusual. I always, that was my one knock on Tyrese Haliburton. His jump shot was kind of slow coming out of Iowa State. But I always said, if you allow him to get it off, it's cash. But he doesn't do anything like to wow you. Even like his bag isn't the greatest. Like if you look at him on the ISO,
he be skating ISO. He be hopping the whole time.
Yeah, all he do is he's just crossing. But it's nothing like, oh, it's nothing crazy. Yeah. So that's why I feel like people aren't in a rush to put him in a superstar, because he doesn't do anything that wows you. He just play. I think, in my opinion, he plays the game the right way. He's again super efficient. He's going to make the right play, and he's when he needs to, he steps up and scores. Mm-hmm. He does do that. But I think that's why people are labeling him as a superstar yet. If his bag was cleaner, or if he was out here dunking on people or making super crazy highlight plays, I think he would have been a superstar. And it also doesn't help that he dropped in the draft. Like the Pistons were supposed to draft him that year, I think like an 8 or something like that. And he dropped. He was still lotto, but we were supposed to draft him. We were projected to draft him. I do remember seeing that a lot, and he dropped to y'all.
What pick did we have?
Don't bring up the draft, Carl.
I think he went.
He went like double digits. He didn't go top 10. Because I remember. No, he didn't go top 10. Look it up. I think he went like 12, 11 or 12.
You know why I say don't
For
bring up
real?
the draft, Carl?
I think so. Because I remember saying, I thought.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
you're right.
Yeah, I remember saying I thought Tyrese was a lotto, but I didn't think he was top 10.
That was crazy.
He was supposed to come to us, and he dropped.
I do want to say this though.
You know what?
Anthony Edwards is a superstar more, in my opinion, is because he actually elevated his game in the playoffs, and he's been around the block longer than Tyrese Haliburton in the playoffs. Tyrese Haliburton, this is his second year in the playoffs, and you look at the numbers, his regular season numbers with Indiana are actually better than the playoffs. When Anthony Edwards, he actually take him to another level in the playoffs. So, and then Jimmy Butler ain't a superstar because he does nothing in the regular season, bro. Like literally, like he's never in consideration of anything but defensive stuff, right? He was all NBA because with third team maybe, he's never no first or second, and he's inconsistent. But Anthony Edwards against Memphis, he was good. Against Denver, he was good. And last year, he was good. This year, he's been pretty good.
Against
Up and down.
He's been up and down. This is probably his worst playoff run, in my opinion. Even though it's still
I
good.
feel like Tyrese, although you can say the numbers say he don't elevate his game, he's been consistent. That's one thing you had to.
No, he hasn't. He has some bad games, Carl.
What has he? He had one. I remember the one game against Cleveland. He had like 4 points. I do remember that. That was bad. I think that was game.
And then last year, he had a couple of games when he disappeared. Last year,
I don't remember that.
Against New York, he had a bad game, and against who else?
New York went 7. If you had one bad game out of 7,
bad, like a 4-point game. But I'm not gonna knock him. I'm not gonna say not a superstar because of that though. But my whole thing is, I think because Ant been around longer, Tyrese is his second playoff run. That's why I feel like he gotta do more because he's not doing nothing. Now he having moments. And Indiana is more of a team effort too, although he's a point guard, but he's not really standing out like he is.
He got multiple game winners.
No,
he needed these runs.
That's what I'm saying. He has moments. I understand that. My whole thing is because he is the point guard, it's gonna be tougher for him because Ant is a scorer. The option of the game is to put the ball in the basket. It's the option of the game. And Anthony Edwards does that the best in his team, and it's clear. It's like, okay, he's the guy. If Ant is not playing good, they're not winning. But we can't say that about Tyrese Haliburton. So I think he has to do a little bit more to get that superstar tag.
See,
this is the series to do it, though.
I agree with this. Tyrese Haliburton he's going to pass more than he's going to score. But when the rubber needs to meet the road and he has to score, he does it.
Yeah, he does.
He does it very well. And this is one thing I meant to talk about, Tomo. You said that Indiana is not the market. A lot of people say Indiana is the place to be for basketball. So I think, although you might think of Indiana is not a big market in terms of like, I guess you want to say like popularity, but for basketball,
no, that's what I mean.
Basketball, it's a big market.
Yeah. I mean, it's the home. It's the home of like basketball. You got Hoosiers and all of that, but I'm talking about like popularity. Like that's not a big market.
Maybe a different sport, like football. Maybe basketball. I disagree.
Look, Carl, what do you think about this comment?
I saw it. No, he wasn't.
I don't think he's a superstar. But Chauncey Billups a superstar when the Pistons were making their playoff runs and won a chip. No disrespect to your man's, Carl.
No, but still a little different.
All right, I want to push back on the market.
And Chauncey was my favorite player in that era. I think it's a little different.
I'm gonna push back because when you think of like NBA, you're thinking of the big cities, the big markets that's gonna actually sell. Marketability, like LA, Miami, these are the cities that I'm talking about. New York. You don't think of Indiana when you're like,
or Minnesota though.
I disagree in basketball. Football, a different sport. I might tend to agree with you. Basketball, Indiana.
No, Carl, you're talking about Indiana in that state. We're talking about he's talking about
in the NBA.
In the NBA, you don't think about Indiana, but you don't think about Minnesota though.
You don't. I would.
That's
That's
why I
what
said
I would
when the
definitely say.
camera's on. That's why I said
Indiana.
when the camera's on, he shines, and that's why more people are like getting pulled
True.
to Minnesota. Kind of like with LeBron. Cleveland's not a big market, but LeBron was the best player in
It's
the league.
LeBron. Yeah, it's
So
LeBron.
yeah,
but
people started pulling to it. Once he left, you see what happened to Cleveland. They went back to Cleveland.
And although it's in California, but the Warriors aren't like nobody really watched the media didn't really talk about the Warriors until Steph really got there.
Yeah, I agree. But
OKC.
I think it's a little different in
Facts.
Indiana because of how much basketball is touted in Indiana.
I get where you're going.
But same thing with
as far as the
Oklahoma
historical
City though.
presence of it. Yeah.
Not really. Not in
OKC?
terms of not like Indiana.
Not like Indiana, but you gotta think about it. The Sooners obviously was king
That's a
in
football.
Oklahoma.
That's a football state.
But I'm in OKC. I think the Thunder took over OKC.
Yeah, because the Sooners weren't good. I ain't gonna say they did suck. The Sooners suck, but they also had like 6 receivers that was hurt, so that's kind of not their fault. But they suck. They just yeah, it was bad.
Blaze, I'm with you. LeBron was the market, and right now he definitely still is the market. But if, like I said, this is the series for Haliburton to get his name on the map because you're going up against one of those big, let's put it like this, big media teams. How about that? The media market for Indiana isn't good for him to get his notoriety out there. Like Jalen Brunson at this point.
But like Joe said, Minnesota is probably below Indiana, in my opinion. Would you agree or disagree?
Yes. Yeah. If you take away the stars, yes, they are.
So I don't think that's the reason.
But here's the thing, Tomo. I think what he has to do is not. I think if he beats New York, we're not gonna leave him a superstar. Even if they lose to OKC, if he
get his name up there.
Yeah. I agree with that because everybody's actually watching. I don't think people actually watch Indiana. And now, if they beat New York and they play OKC and they push, I'm not saying 7 games, but they challenge OKC more than they superstar Anthony Edwards there, and Tyrese was good, and he continued to have these clutch moments, then yes, people might say, listen, Indiana lost, but a superstar was born in the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
That might be like a saying, like people might say that.
And that's essentially what happened with Ant. They was like, we understand what the Timberwolves were, but he just beat LeBron. Like, bro, they weren't supposed to do that.
No, he just beat before that.
But I'm about to say he low-key became a superstar when they wanted to play in.
No, I think when he beat Denver, that's when everybody was like, he a superstar.
That was the next team I was going to
name. Game 1. It was game 1, though. Game 1, when he went crazy, he was in all those minis and going to the cup, and he had a dunk. Everybody like, superstar was born today.
If Ant played in Indiana, the Pacers would get more primetime games. The shoes on the other foot.
Yeah, but that's not because of the market. At that point, that's because of the player.
I do, because of the player. Yeah, I'm with you. Because of the player.
But the player is all right. Maybe y'all not getting my point.
No, I get you. And it's more his game is more superstar-esque. If you get what I'm saying, like he got the highlight dunks, he got the step back 3, he has the mid-range game. A lot of he has the Jordan comparisons, which is still crazy. But
I don't know the numbers, but I won't be surprised if the Timberwolves had more primetime games than OKC this year. And OKC had the best record last year.
No,
so
that's because of Ant.
Because he's more flashy. People actually say like SJ is boring. I'm like,
that's crazy.
SGA is pulling the Chris Paul. He putting all his homies on. Like SGA making sure all his homies get commercials and all that too. So like it's a team thing there.
Oh snap!
But
I don't know if he froze.
Dang.
Yeah, I'm like,
Carl.
What's up?
K had received 6 first team votes, the most by in all NBA third team selection.
Hey, I don't care as long as he made it because Detroit get disrespected. So
but
at
he
least
had
we
more
got
first
something.
team votes than Steph, Evan Mobley, and Brunson combined, and they all made second team.
Disrespected. How does that work?
I don't know. Bro.
Disrespected. Y'all don't believe me when I say this.
That's crazy.
They don't want Detroit to have nothing. I was happy until you just said that.
I know you doing this, and I was like, I ain't done yet. Let me finish reading it.
Bro, like we get disrespected. It's crazy.
That's crazy.
I want to say one more thing before we move on to the NFL about the Tyrese. The reason why I said earlier, Carl, why I said don't bring up the draft, is because it's a story about Tyrese Haliburton, and the Wizards was about to draft him. This was right before I think John Wall had tore his Achilles. I think he got injured the second time, and Tyrese was like, "I don't want to go to the Wizards. It's a dead end franchise."
I'm sorry, bro.
So, hey, Tyrese,
Oh, he said that?
yeah, they was about to draft him. He was like, "Nah, I ain't trying to go there," because
And he was good to go with the Kings.
He was trying to build something. He was like, "I don't want to go there."
Once you at 12, you want to stay Lotto at that point.
True.
Hey, you gotta think about it. He was like, John Wall did the whole Bradley Beal thing, but he was like, "I don't want to go to that dead end franchise." I was like, "Hey, bro, I don't wish nothing but the best for you."
Yeah, facts, Blaze. DC a big market. I don't know why people don't want to come here. That's crazy.
You can answer that question, bro, if you really think about it. Sorry, Tomo.
What you mean, the Wizards?
Yeah.
All we need is a turnaround season like the Commanders. Nobody wanted to go to the Commanders till Jaden Daniels showed up.
Hey, shout out to my boys, 85.
Andrew Peters too gets a lot of credit for that, but well.
But I'm just saying, you gotta have like what we building now. People may want to show up. But DC is a football team anyway. They don't really care about other sports here. They care about the Commanders.
Oh no, they care about the sports because that's them joints they win the championships in. They care about baseball and hockey. Well, probably not baseball no more.
Football king everywhere though. If you win it,
somebody else says it.
Not even Joe. Not even you winning, bro. Y'all were bad, and all you would hear on the radio is they would bring up the Caps. They would give the Caps a few segments. They would give the Nats a few segments, but the majority of the topic was football. Like, what are we going to do in the football season?
You know why? Because out of all the sports, there's way more hope in football than any other sport. Because football is only 16, 17 games. And there's one game elimination in playoffs. Basketball, bro, you look at your roster and be like, yo, we are not winning. We ain't winning nothing. Shit. I'm sorry. Hockey, same thing. Baseball, same thing.
I can't speak on hockey.
Yeah, if it's tiers, Joe,
hockey's 82 games. And then your team, see, I don't watch hockey a lot.
That's what I'm saying.
If I watch hockey all the time, I do NBA, I can look at my team and say, we could probably make the playoff. But my team, like the Wizards of hockey, it's like, nah, we ain't the
captain.
Because 82 games.
If you talking about here, it's Commanders, Caps, and everybody else.
Because the Caps actually won recently, though.
Before that.
I don't know, Tomo. When the Wizards had Gilbert and them boys.
I'm telling you, Joe, go to a Caps game.
Because
they probably were second when Gilbert and them was cooking.
Because the Wizards never won nothing though since the 70s. If the Wizards do what we did, like you said, they'll go up there.
Yeah,
the Caps fans was loyal, bro.
No, I agree with Joe. I was making a joke when I said that because the Nats suck. But continue. I can go silent all y'all want. Y'all suck.
Nah, we just had to let that breathe for a second. And just like Carl and his nonsense, we're gonna talk about these owners and their nonsense.